Okay, good day friends. This is Demola Awoyele. Always a joy and pleasure sharing with you on this platform of Leaders Arise. I believe the month has been a huge one for you, even though it has been a month of activities, an eventful month for that matter, for our dear nation Nigeria, and of course for the world at large. And I want to believe that for you also in your life, in your business, in your career, in your ministry, and in whatever it is you do, it's been an eventful month and it's been a productive month. Thank you for always hanging out with me on this platform of Leaders Arise. I believe today's sharing will be a blessing to you. Once again, thank you for joining me. God bless you. So let's learn together very quickly on what I've titled Becoming a Business Leader Part 3. Becoming a Business Leader Part 3. If you've been following this broadcast or this podcast for some episodes now, I've been talking about business. All right, maybe for the past 1 month or 5 weeks now, we've been teaching about business. And maybe you are listening today, this is your first time of being a part of this broadcast. I want to encourage you to go over the previous episodes of this life-changing podcast. Or maybe you want to get the audio versions of the teachings. You may want to do us a message on our contact details that are being displayed on the screen. Today, I want to take the series much further by looking at Becoming a Business Leader Part 3. Obviously, 2 episodes ago, we looked at Becoming a Business Leader Part 1 and Part 2. So today is the Part 3 of that topic on becoming a business leader. And my assignment today is very clear and simple. Obviously, I won't be able to finish this topic today. I would be continuing in subsequent episodes. And my assignment, like I said, is so simple and clear. The assignment today is to let you know that you have got to add leadership to business. The perspective of the previous episode is how you can emerge as a leader in your business, as somebody who is at the top of your game. All right, as somebody who is making impact, as somebody who is standing out in whatever it is you do. That was the perspective of the first 2 parts of this sharing. But the perspective of today, all right, is to let you know that you need to be a leader in business. That means you need to add leadership to your business. So if I say becoming a business leader, in today's episode, I mean how to become a leader as a businessman, how to add leadership to business. And as an introduction to this, possibly 3 parts sharing I want to begin today, I want to start by letting you know that leadership is what makes the difference, or makes all the difference in life. All right, when you see businesses that are flying, businesses or career, ministry or what have you, that seem to be making wave today, really their ideas may not be loftier than others, their ideology or whatever may not be better than others. In fact, they may not even be led by smarter people than others. The main difference is simply how much of leadership that they put in whatever it is that they do. So today and in 2 or 3 episodes from now, I'm going to be dissecting the nitty-gritty of leadership as it relates to succeeding in life and business. So let me begin by saying today that there is a difference between being blessed and being fruitful. All right, there is a difference between being blessed and being successful. There is a difference between being blessed and being productive. All right, blessing, if I'm talking as a Christian leader at the moment or a pastor at the moment, blessing is spiritual. Can you hear me say what I say again now? Blessing is what? Spiritual. But what we do with the spiritual blessing is what we command the success and the productivity. And what you do to the spiritual blessing is leadership. 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 Two people can start business the same day, maybe under a spiritual leader, a pastor. He releases the blessing upon them and say, go forth and prosper in business. Can I shock you that when they return after 5 years, all right, their result will be different, I suppose. The reason is not the blessing. All right, the difference is seen in the leadership that they put in the blessing. Two people can start ministry, or in my context, church, at the same day. Maybe under the same spiritual father. They've been blessed the same day. All right, but after some couple of years, what will become of their churches or ministries will be a function of what they did with the blessing. So the blessing is spiritual. What you do with the blessing is what we command the success, is what we command the productivity. And that is why too many people are blessed, but they are still small. Too many people are blessed, but they are still unproductive. Too many people are blessed and their life is still fruitless. And maybe I'm here to help you unravel that confusion today. That how come my life is like this, despite the fact that I've been blessed? How come am I still struggling in business, struggling in my career, struggling in my church or ministry, despite that I have been blessed? So I'm here to add the other factor that can help you convert the spiritual blessing to a practical dimension that will bring about productivity, that will bring about success, that will bring about the result that you so desire. And that practical factor is what I call leadership. That practical factor is what I call leadership. That practical factor is what I call leadership. So in Genesis chapter 1 from verse 26 to 28, the Bible said God created man in his own image and God blessed them. God blessed them. God released upon them the spiritual impartation or empowerment needed for them to become whatever it is that they have been ordained to become. But they are going to take a journey from being blessed to being productive. Because if you read that Genesis chapter 1 very well, the end product of the blessed man is dominion. He blessed them. Be fruitful, multiply, replenish the earth, subdue it, have dominion. And I think that is what everybody wants to have today. Everybody wants to have dominion in business. They want to have dominion in their career. They want to have dominion in their work, in their ministry, in their churches. But we need to understand that you have been given the spiritual empowerment for you to have dominion. But in between the blessing and the dominion are factors that are worth considering today. One of them, he said, fruitful. Be fruitful. He said, multiply. All right. Replenish the earth. Subdue it. Then after that, you will have dominion. And that scripture seemed to me as if you will do all those stuff that God mentioned. The part of God is that He has blessed you. Can I announce to somebody today that God has blessed you? God has blessed your business. God has blessed your career. God has blessed your ministry. God has blessed your church. God has blessed your marriage. Never you have the understanding or mindset that you have not been blessed. Never you think you are under a curse. Particularly if you are born again. You are not under a curse because Christ has redeemed us from the curse of the law. because he has been made a curse for us. Because curse is everyone that hangs on a tree, that the blessing of Abraham might come upon the Gentiles, that we might receive the promise of the Spirit through faith. That is what Galatians chapter 3 verse 13 to 14 tells us. So fundamentally, every born again person is blessed, but not every born again person will succeed. Permit my usage of words. Success in this context means becoming productive. Alright, having the kind of results that is commensurate with the spiritual blessing you have in Christ. So the jigsaw puzzle that needs to be fixed, alright, the missing link that needs to be added to the life of a blessed man is the attitude of leadership. Or you may want to say the practice of leadership. Because that's what we saw in those statements. Be fruitful. God blessed them and he gave them the assignment or the responsibility to be fruitful. God cannot be fruitful for you, or God cannot take up the responsibility of fruitfulness. It's like you plant a seed in the soil. The best that the farmer can do is to plant the seed, to water the seed. The responsibility of fruitfulness is in the seed, or is upon the seed. The responsibility of replenishing the earth, filling the whole vineyard, filling the whole farmland is on the seed. The same thing with God. The responsibility to bless is God's, but the responsibility to convert the blessing to physical tangibility is on us. No wonder it says, you be fruitful, multiply, replenish the earth, subdue it, have dominion. Because when you do all of those, you will necessarily have dominion. In Matthew chapter 25, 3 guys were called and blessed with what it takes to succeed in business. One was blessed with a talent of 5. The other was blessed with a talent of 2. Another was blessed with a talent of 1. You can see those talents as the blessing. They didn't have the talent on their own. Somebody gave it to them. Alright, so that looks like the blessing. But what each of them does with the talent will determine what the result will be. Remember that the man that had the 5 talents, he went and multiplied it via business or via leadership. And of course, he gained 5 more. The one that had 2 did the same thing. He multiplied it, doubled it, gained 2 more, making 4. Why the one that had 1? He went to hide it. He never took responsibility for it. He never took ownership of it. He never added leadership to it. And he ended up the same way that he started out with. In fact, one portion of the Bible says, I said, I have seen you as a hard man. You want to reap where you have not sown and all of that. I have gone to hide or eat the money you have given me on the ground. I've gone to do nothing with it, alright, and all of that. And that describes a lot of people today. You know, your problem is not how big or how small you are starting. Your problem is your understanding of leadership and how to add leadership to however and whatever you start with and to convert it to something meaningful afterwards. And that is why this session of Leaders Right is very important for you to listen and to grasp, because aftermath of everything will not be a function of what you started out with. It will be a function of what you do with what you start with. So very quickly, let me quickly expatiate more on how to add leadership to your business. Number 1, never assume leadership. 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 What do I mean by that? Don't think that leadership will play out by itself. Leadership is active, not passive. People that assume leadership feels that, well, I'm leading the business, I am doing my best. No, it is not an assumption. It's not an assumption. You are either leading or you are doing something else. Never assume leadership. Never think that because you have started your business, your career, your ministry, you are actually leading. I read a book several years ago. The writer of that book titled that book, Too Many Leaders, Too Very Few Leadership. Too many leaders, too many leaders, very few leadership. And I love that, but that was the title of the book. Too many leaders, but too little leadership. That means that we have too many, in quotes, supposed leaders who really are not leading. Why? Because they assume leadership. They assume that because I'm the senior pastor of the church, I am leading in that church. They assume because I'm the MD CEO or I'm the startup business owner of that business, I am leading. They assume that because they are the departmental head in that corporation, they are leading. So they assume leadership. Now, when you assume leadership, your result is going to prove otherwise. Because it is results that actually count. Somebody said activity is not the same thing as productivity. It is result that count. So you don't assume leadership in every strata of human endeavor, whether it is in business, whether it's in family, whether it's in the church world, whether it's in the corporate organization. You don't assume leadership. Leadership must be intentional. Leadership must be active. Leadership must never be passive. You must not assume that things will just happen because you are the figurehead. In fact, the best that a lot of people can be described with is that they are just figurehead. They are just occupying space. They are not in charge. They are just going to their business, their workplace. They are not adding leadership. Leadership is something that is tangible. Leadership is something that is visible. Leadership is something that is feelable. When leadership is present, it will be obvious. And that's the first lesson I want you to learn in becoming a business leader part 3, adding leadership to your business. Now, don't forget I said, never assume leadership. Be sure that you are putting leadership in what it is that you are doing. Very quickly, the second thing you have got to do is to learn leadership. Since I say you don't assume leadership, you may wonder, so what should I do? Learn leadership. Learn leadership. And that's why I believe very seriously. People come to me for counseling and say, Pastor Demola, I want to do my master's degree. I want to do my PhD. But this guy is in business. All right. I said, what do you need the master's degree for? Or the PhD for? So I just feel that all my mates are doing. I said, no. You are already in business. I would rather you go for an MBA. I would rather you enroll for a leadership course than having to pursue master's degree or PhD in whatever field that is not even relevant to your practice at the moment. We waste thousands of nairas, hundreds of thousands of naira, dollars, in acquiring certification, and our leadership life is not being developed. Of course, when you learn leadership, you may acquire certification in leadership, but I am saying today that beyond just improving your CV profile or whatever you call it, why not learn the practicality of leadership? That's why you see wise business owners, maybe after their first degree, and once they know this is my area or line of business, they want to go and acquire an MBA. All right? In a master's of business administration, or whatever administrative program, leadership course that will advance their business. Because the mistake that most business leaders make is once they start their business, they want to depend on intuition alone. They want to depend on the way they think, the way they feel. There are smart business practices. There are smart leadership practices that you will not have to assume. You will need to learn. So that's the second thing. Learn leadership. Pay the price to learn leadership. Follow a leader that is making way in his own endeavor. Enroll for leadership courses. Read materials on leadership. Because at the aftermath of everything, it is not your knowledge of business alone that will help grow your business. You need to have leadership to that business. At the end of everything, it's not the knowledge of ministry alone that will help grow that church. You have got to learn leadership. It's not your knowledge of marriage alone that will help you succeed in that marriage. You have got to be a leader husband or a leading husband. And that's the second point. And I want to share with you the learn leadership. Then the third and the final, as I begin to round up, is to deploy leadership. And that is where I'm going to pick up from the next episode. Number one, like I said, don't assume leadership. Number two, be intentional about learning leadership. Then number three, deploy leadership. And that will be where I will pick up from the next episode. I hope today's broadcast has been a blessing to you. I want to appreciate you for hanging out with me on this episode of Leaders Arise. I look forward to hearing from you, your feedbacks, your comments, and your questions. Till I meet with you again on the next episode of Leaders Arise, don't forget that you have got to become a business leader. Bye for now.